can take advantage of the time and go be with our families. So I'm really excited about today. So my name is Emily, for those of you who are not on my team, and I am Power Partners with Jordan and Joanna. So I'm really excited about this IPA but this IPA Power Hour this morning, because I feel like I have some good information to share with you guys that I just got from Marianne Anderson. But before we jump into that, I want to congratulate those of you that are doing the Road to Ruby. We're about, 6 days down. So take advantage. The stuff that we're sharing with you, it may feel like, oh yeah, I know. Like, I know about my why. I know about my goals. I know about all those things. But those things are really, really important to nail down. And just pay attention to every single post and really dive deep into those posts every single day, because I guarantee you it's going to further your business. Okay, so first things first. When we do our power hours, I like to come prepared, because I don't want to waste my time trying to figure out, okay, who am I going to be writing today? What am I going to say? Because as moms, we have very limited amount of time, right? We don't have a whole lot of time to be able to do these power hours. So everything I've ever watched about power hours is get to a place like Jamie in the closet where you are not distracted, where you don't have kids all around you. You've got your water. You've gone to the bathroom. You're not going to be checking your phone. Like, you are sitting down to do your stuff. And so I think a lot of times it's really easy for us to feel like, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so busy. I pour so much into my business. But then at the end of the day, when you sit and look at it, you've not really done much other than management. Maybe you've been following up with a few people, or you're talking to people on your team, but you're not doing the things that you have to do to grow your business, which is your IPAs. So you need to make your power hours a priority. I try to do that 5 days out of the week. So if you've been in Plexus for any longer than a couple of months, you might kind of be at the place where you're like, I don't really know who else to reach out to. So I want this to be an open forum for just a minute. But I want to share with you a way that I keep building my list. So like this morning, I don't know if you guys can see this big list of people. This morning, before I came to the power hour, I knew I wanted to be prepared, and I knew I wanted to have my list of people that I could just start writing messages to. And so what I did was I went on Facebook to a girlfriend of mine who I know, we're friends on Facebook, and she's really influential. So I went to her page, and then I went to her friends list. And that just refreshed my mind on, oh yeah, I haven't reached out to her. Oh yeah, I need to follow up with her. And so I was able, with just a few friends, looking at our mutual friends, I was able to come up with, I don't even know how many this is, like 30 names. And so I encourage you, maybe that's a way for you guys to build your list. Speak up and let me know other ways that you guys build your list. I know there's a way, like if you have people that comment or like on your Plexus post. Okay, what else?
Yeah, that's what I like to do. I was about to say, but yeah, I like to go to my posts that are non-Plexus and look at who liked it to refresh my memory of who I need to reach out to.
Yeah, and I love that, because that shows you there are people that are watching that can see your Facebook posts, that are engaged with you, that love you, are liking and commenting on your posts that are not just Plexus. I love that, Joanna. Anybody else? How do you grow your list? How do you add people to your list?
I go to my groups. So some of my workout groups. So some of my friends that I've been really connected with them, I've added some of them as my friends. So I'll go and check a lot of them as well sometimes. Or I do the posts too. Now, what do you guys do though? So I have one girl who likes and comments on all my posts of Plexus, but she doesn't check her messages and she doesn't respond on Facebook usually.
Do you have her phone number?
No. I've tried, but she doesn't really respond. I don't think she has messages.
Maybe on one of her pictures on Facebook, you can comment and be like, hey girl, I sent you a message, check your messenger. or something like that.
Yeah.
So later on in the Road to Ruby, Joanna's going to talk about expanding your network through groups, and that's a really great way, just like Joy was saying, like a really great way to add to your list. And Joanna's the queen of it. She has so many people on her team that she's never met, but that she knows through these groups. So that's another great way. Okay, anybody else have any other suggestions on how they grow their friends list?
I like to go to my old lists that I made, like when I started, and I had this big, huge spiral that I've just made lists, and I like to go back to those to see who I talked to, because I usually wrote said no, made little notes. So I like to do that.
Okay, awesome. All right, so the point of this portion is come into your power hour prepared, ready to do some biz. Okay, so Marianne Anderson. How many of you guys, well, from the few people I can see, how many of you know who this woman is? Marianne Anderson. Okay, so she did a corporate call a couple of months ago over social media. The woman is a brilliant genius. So she started her Instagram account, which is called This Loud House. Write that down and check her out. This Loud House is her Instagram handle. She started that handle and that account 2 months prior to starting Plexus as a business. So I think she must have started it in July of last year, because she started her Plexus business in September of this year. And the woman is about to be an emerald this month. Okay, September to now, and she's about to be an emerald. She's crazy. And she has 5 kids, and she wears a size 2. I can't even be friends with her. But she has over 30,000 followers on Instagram. She signed personally 42 ambassadors last month. Level 1s, 42. The month prior, she signed 37 ambassadors. Now, I've reached out to her a couple of times. We've communicated. Joanna, you just said Emily. Is everything okay? Sorry. I don't know. Okay, I'm awkward. I'm sorry. Okay. But I reached out to her a few months ago, and she said that her sweet spot was at about month 6. So I don't really know what prior to month 6 looked like. I don't know if she was just signing a person or 2, but all I know is this. The woman is a freight train, and she is signing 37 and 42 level 1s, and she's making her way to Emerald with 5 kids, being a size 2. So I reached out to her yesterday. Let me pull it up. And I just asked her, what are you doing? Do you mind me? Because here's the deal. She wrote some tips, and she said that she sent over 400 messages in the month of April. How you do that, I don't know. So I reached out to her, and I said, I need to know, what are you doing? Because I'm spending, I'm like a yellow personality, so I'm spending a lot of time on my messages, because I don't want people to think I'm salesy. I want people to know, I love them, and I'm intentionally pouring into them. So what are you doing? So you guys, I want you to take notes. I'll copy this and put this in the chat. But here's what she says to everyone who likes a Plexus post. She says that she is the copy and paste queen. So this is what she says to everyone who likes her Plexus post on Instagram and Facebook. Hey, my friend, happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for liking my before and after testimonial this morning. I super appreciate the support. Would you like me to send you some scoop on the supplements I'm using? So a few things there that stood out to me. I really like how she's on top of it. So she posts a picture of herself in the morning, and she's following up with every person who likes her post. She's making it urgent. It's still fresh in that person's brain. That person just liked it. So Marianne, here she comes that day. Hey, thank you so much for liking this today. I really appreciate it. And the second thing I noticed is that she's not pushy. Would you like me to send you some scoop on the supplements I'm using? Super simple. It's a copy and paste. It's not pushy. It's intentional. She's doing it that day. So that stood out to me there. So then she says, this is what I send to people I'm friends with but don't know well, which, she has 30,000 followers. So I'm sure there are quite a few people that she does not know well. So she says, hey, Jordan, I know we're Facebook friends, but I don't know you all that well, and I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Marianne, and we have 196 mutual friends. I'm sure you've seen my post about the pink drink and supplements I'm using. I don't crave sugar or carbs anymore, and I'm sleeping better, and my energy has improved keeping up with my 5 kiddos. Maybe it would benefit you too. Would you check out some scoop if I sent it to you? So I love that she uses the word scoop. She really likes that word. But I think that she's intentional here because if you notice that she says, we have 196 mutual friends. So that means she is speaking specifically to that person, but it literally took her 2 seconds to go to that person's profile and see how many friends they had in common. So I don't know if this is like a friend that she has. I guess it is because she says we're Facebook friends. So do you see? I guess you can see mutual friends when you're friends with somebody. Okay, never mind. Disregard. Anyways, she's intentional about that one person. Hey, Liz, I'm going to go and look at Liz's profile. We have 196 mutual friends. So this way Liz knows I'm speaking specifically to her. I personally am not a big fan of the I'm sure you've seen my post because I feel like I don't see everybody's post on Facebook, and that kind of annoys me when people say that to me. So I probably wouldn't use that phrase, but the woman's bringing in 42 ambassadors every month, so I think that it's working. Okay, so then I asked her what scoop she sends to everyone. And as we all know, triplex is kind of where you start most people. But so she didn't send me like the specifics of how she asks, but basically she just will like ask them, tell me what your health goals are for the year, and then they'll shoot it over to her, and then she will send them that 1 minute triplex video that corporate put together. It's not the Jennifer Leith, it's not the Jennifer Pickett, it's 1 minute, and I will put it on our chat, and she just sends that out to them, and she'll say, this is what I recommend to you. Okay, so everybody's still doing good? I know I'm kind of flowing through this, but you guys, is this beneficial to anybody other than me? Okay. All right, so if somebody approaches her about plexus, hey, tell me about this pink drink you're talking about. So she responds like this. Hey, my friend, I'd love to share with you more about the pink drink and plexus. Tell me about your health goals for the year. Super short. I mean, that's something that you can copy and paste, right? Like keep that in your toolbox, keep that in your notes, and send that to everybody who approaches you about plexus, which is you continue to be more consistent, more and more people are going to reach out to you about plexus. Okay, so the woman writes her back, and then she says, okay, Terry, so she uses her name. Okay, Terry, this is where I recommend you start. And then you send that triplex video, that 1 minute triplex video. And then she says, check out this clip and let me know your thoughts. Okay, so then I thought this was interesting because I like to try to get my people on the phone. Like I think you have so many different people telling you tips, and I think you do what works for you. This works for her. You figure out if this is what you like. But she doesn't seem to talk price over the phone. She doesn't seem to do much over the phone other than typing stuff out. So she's talking price over the computer with her girl. And I'm just going to break it down for you the way that she says it. It kind of cut off, so I don't know what she said in the middle. But she says, hey, girl, okay, so the cheapest way to purchase is wholesale. It's like shopping. So she doesn't say ambassador. That's another big thing. A lot of people freak out at the word ambassador, so she intentionally leaves that out. The cheapest way to purchase is wholesale. It's like shopping at Sam's or Costco. You pay a $35 annual membership fee, and then your triplex is discounted at $99 for the first month. And then this is where it kind of cut off. But then she followed up at the end of that, and she just said, you can cancel or change this at any time, and you will not be charged today. So obviously she's talking about subscriptions. But I was impressed that she does this all over the computer and all over her phone rather than doing phone calls. So like I said, that kind of changes up my way of thinking because I feel like we've been taught different ways, but it's working for her. What are your thoughts about everything there?
That's the way I like to do it too, because sometimes I can't always do the phone calls. So I don't like using the word ambassador either because it really freaks people out, I think. And so I always say wholesale, and I compare it to Costco. And I do like that because, and then I start telling them, wholesale is the cheapest way to go. If you're really wanting to save money, investing in your health, this is the best way to do it. And because a lot of people, they look at like the retail price and it's really scary. So, but I do like that a lot, because that's kind of what I do, and I like to hear that someone else does that too, besides just me.
I love how simple it is and how duplicatable it is. Like, how easy would that be to just share with everyone on your team, like to do exactly what you did? Like, that's so easy. And if you're signing 42 people in a month, you don't really have time to get on the phone, I guess. So I love that. It's so easy and simple. I'm just like blown away.
Well, and the thing is that it's not like she's just adding all these people. Like, she's adding people and she's duplicating. That's the thing too that's mind blowing. And I think because of like what you said, Joanna, she's making it simple. Like, it's not pushy. Copy and paste. This is how you respond. Like, a lot of her stuff comes from her Instagram. You know, like, there's so much interest. Like, really, seriously, if you do not follow her, go check her out. This Loud House. But she does a ton of stories. She's got a very focused Instagram. She does a lot of giveaways. Like, we did that Thriving in Motherhood the other day. So she's thinking outside of the box and constantly trying to figure out what's working. And she's got it together. So I'm going to start posting in here in the chat. I've already started with what she sends to everyone who likes the Plexus post, and I'm going to continue to add to this chat. Now, when the chat ends, this will go away. So I recommend you guys copy and save this. But I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, and then we'll kind of reconnect in a little bit, and we'll talk through responding to no's. But for right now, take your time, start messaging those people. And I have no rhyme or reason to power hours other than just message people, message your new people, message follow-up people to have fun. And I'm going to post all this stuff on here.
And I recommend saving, so like she said, save it to your phone, like save it in the notes in your phone so you have like the method and the format that Marianne uses. So that's why it's in your phone. You're not like having to go back to Messenger or whatever and reread how she did it. Like Emily said, it's going to be gone. But save it to your phone, and that's why it's always there. So anyway.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I was just going to say, y'all, this would be a great verbiage to send to your new people that are trying to go silver when they're posting. So I'm planning on doing that. Just wanted to share that.
Hey guys, for some reason, I'm having an issue pasting the second one that she sends to her friends that she doesn't know well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post that script in the Road to Ruby. It's just being funky in the chat. Okay, guys, so the comments, they're not working. Or for me, I can't post the stuff. So what I've done is I've gone into the Road to Ruby and I put it in the comments of everything that I just shared with you guys about her. Okay, so we only have a few more minutes left, but I wanted to talk with you guys for a second about no's. So when I used to get no's, they kind of like paralyzed me. I don't know if any of you feel that way, but they hurt me, personally, because I felt like I was offending people. I was embarrassed, like they didn't want to do it. So then I started doubting myself, and I started doubting my business and the products, and that's no way to run a business. So I've actually kind of enjoyed no's lately, because it's still a way for you to share with them, even though they're saying no. So I've had some great success. I had a girlfriend of mine that I sent a message to, and she said, I'd love to, but I just don't have any money. So I can't, if it involves spending money, I can't do it. So I sent her a voice message back, and I don't know exactly what I said, but basically like, so good to hear from you. Thank you so much for taking the time to respond, because that's a big deal. A lot of people get a lot of messages, and the fact that they're taking time out of their day to send you a response to say no, praise them for that. Like, that's a big deal. So, thank you so much for taking the time to message me. I loved hearing from you. I really hope that you're doing well, girl. You're so pretty, blah, blah, blah. But then I also will say something like, totally get that. I was in the same place as you, feel, felt, found method, same place as you. But for me, it's been so good for our family financially. But hey, listen, if you know of anyone who struggles with migraines or lots of inflammation or autoimmune issues or, like whatever, sinus infections, allergies, like you can name off the things that Plexus helps with. If you know of anyone that struggles with that stuff, I would love to get in touch with them and send them a sample, because I know these products have really helped a lot of my friends who've dealt with those things. And y'all, I sent that voice message, and immediately after, the girl said, okay, send me a sample. So she said no at first because she didn't know what it was. She just assumed crazy Plexus, crazy lady, just trying to get my money. Oh, but I didn't realize it could help with migraines and aches and pains and allergies. Yeah, send me a sample. So I was going to see, does anybody else have anything that they like to do when you get no's? Does anybody else take that approach, or do you kind of go hide behind a rock and you like cry for 2 days?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's totally fine. My camera is off because I look like scary. But anyway, I tend to do the same thing, Emily, and I've had so many people come back and end up ordering. So never accepting a no, writing it down that they said no, but then I often try to build that relationship with them, because like you said, so often they are just scared. They don't know what you're talking about. And so building the relationship, and then always kind of sharing, like, this is what has helped me or my friends, or like you said, do you know anybody? People feel important when you kind of say like, hey, do you know anyone though? I mean, act as if like, oh yeah, you're not struggling with anything, but you probably have friends that are. And then they normally come back and they are struggling. So love that tip.
And in my voice message, I also talked about the money. Like, this has been a huge blessing to our family financially. So I know that you were talking about, finances being really tight. So this is something that, I could help you with. Like, I know that you could have a great side business with this. So yeah, I think that's excellent. Anybody else?
So I have a girl who's been telling me no for a year. I mean, I don't get a lot of no's. I don't know about you guys. Very few people say to me no. I get a lot of people that say, well, I don't have money right now, but maybe later. I get a lot of trails. But yesterday when you messaged me that I had a new ambassador, I was like, I think Em doesn't know what she's talking about. Literally, she just got online and signed up. Like, didn't even tell me she was doing it. And she'd been a no for a year. She's all in. She wants to work the biz. So you never know. It is all about time for people.
That is so right. That's so right. And I'm just going to share this with you, then we can finish up here. But Tamara Holloway is my ambassador, and she asked me for 3.5 years. And for 3.5 years, I said, heck to the no. I want nothing to do with Plexus. But she remained my friend. She was consistent with me, and she wasn't all about Plexus. And I'll tell you, her very last message to me about Plexus, I think she sent me in 3.5 to 4 years. I think she sent me 3 or 4 messages about Plexus, which that's not much, in 3.5 to 4 years, only 3 or 4 messages. So I knew that our friendship was not just about Plexus. But the very last message that she sent to me which is one of those like, hey, this is my last message I'm going to send to you about Plexus. I really believe in you, and I really, really know that you could be this with the business, but just know this is the last time I'm going to approach you about it. And I really appreciated that, like that taking off. And then when it came time to me wanting to make that decision, I went with her because she wasn't pushing me, and she was very successful, and she was consistent, and she didn't stop. So keep that in mind too, that it took 3.5, 4 years for me to say yes. And then when I was ready, I dove all in. So you have no idea who out there has said no to you that's going to take that same position. So we only have like 3 minutes left if you want to stay on. If you are in a quiet closet like Jamie was and you have nobody around you, like I encourage you to keep messaging your people. But this is going to end in a few minutes. So thank you guys so much for being on. Does anybody have any thoughts or questions before we get off? If I've missed any of the chats, let me know.
Hey, I was going to say really quick, this is Jordan. My camera's off. Don't judge me. I signed a girl yesterday from a group that I had met about 6 months ago, and she told me no when we started. So we kept building our friendship, and I went at it a different way this time. I invited her to that Thriving in Motherhood group or the event. And so if somebody's told you no, I would encourage you not to shy away from adding them to events like that, because that's just a different way of touching them, and maybe they'll hear a different story that really, pulls at their heartstrings. So.
Yeah, that's something else that Marianne was saying. And the tips that she gave, I think we put them all in our threads, but the tips that she gave was that she lets Plexus do the explaining. So she sends a ton of videos to her people. She doesn't try to be the expert. She likes to send videos to her potentials, which also takes a lot of pressure off of you. This is going to hang up in just a second, but love you guys. So proud of you. Thank you for waking up so early to do this. I hope it was beneficial and of value to you guys, and hopefully it will help your business.